Hello, denizens of the internet. This is Dr. Nairi A. Bakalian, and I'm coming at you with an even quicker introduction on this, the birthday of my favorite historical disaster buy. Date Masamune was born in Yonezawa Castle on 5 September 1567. He was not the founder of House Date. The family has roots in the Tohoku region, going back to the late 12th century, but he was, in fact, the founder of Sendai itself, which he established as a castle town, and which is still the capital of Miyagi Prefecture and the biggest city in the Tohoku region. The domain that he ruled from there would become one of Japan's major domestic powers, and later go on to fame during the Boshin War as leaders of the Northern Alliance. But it all began with him setting up there on Mount Aoba in that bend of the Hirose River. He was many things: an accomplished musician and actor, an internationalist, a chef, a sake connoisseur, and so flamboyant that his family name became a euphemism for flamboyance. And yes, he loved people of all genders. So on the occasion of his birth, I want to read my translation of the story of his conception as related in Date Chikekiroku, a record of the Date clan's governance, the clan's orthodox history. As we will discuss after I read this quote, there's a reason that it's so miraculous. Quote, "There lived an accomplished monk, the Venerable Chokai, who had studied esoteric teachings and had first called himself by the name Ensei. He was an ascetic who lived beside the Kameoka Monjudo pavilion in Nagai Manor, and engaged in rigorous discipline. Lady Yoshi summoned Chokai and ordered him to go to the sacred mountain Yudono and pray that she conceive a child who would be skilled in pen and sword and praised in loyalty and filiality. On the 2nd of the 4th month, he went to Yudono and prayed fastidiously. As proof of his prayer, he washed a purification wand, a bonten, in the sacred pool there, and presented it to Lady Yoshi upon his return, putting it in place on the roof of the building where she slept. One night the lady had a dream where a white-bearded monk came to ask if he could borrow her womb. The lady replied, 'I must ask my honored husband's permission,' and the monk nodded his assent and left. Awakening with a sense of wonder, the lady told Lord Terumune of her dream. He said, 'This is a good omen. How could I refuse? If you have this dream again, you shouldn't refuse the monk's request.' The following night, the monk once again came to her in a dream and repeated his request. She consented, and the monk gave her a purification wand, telling her to carry it in her womb. She awoke, and it was not long after that she conceived. When the heir was born, Chokai Shonin, inspired by the lady's tale, suggested the name Bonten Maru." End quote. Bonten Maru was the childhood name of the man we know as Masamune. By encouraging the telling and retelling of this story, he was furthering his claim to legitimacy, because the ascetic in Lady Yoshi's dream, who is usually identified as Mankai Shonin, was a noted ascetic of the highest rank, who in turn was regarded as the reincarnation of En no Gyoja, an ancient and legendary ascetic. This extended Masamune's legitimacy from the mundane to the supernatural, which should come as no surprise for a man who named his capital after a legendary Chinese home of the immortals. It's interesting that this is the official narrative also because it rehabilitates the image of his mother. Lady Yoshi seemed hell-bent on ensuring that her firstborn son did not receive Date headship, to the point that she was actively trying to kill him at one point early in his tenure, in favor of having him replaced with his younger brother Kojiro. Masamune's response to this was to personally kill his brother, despite being on good terms with his brother, so as to avoid striking at their mother directly. Although things were like this at first, in time, Masamune and his mother developed a mutually cordial, though distant relationship, and she eventually resided in retirement in her son's domains, where she died at Sendai Castle in the late summer of 1623. Masamune is a complex figure of his time, and not without his many foibles and flaws, of course. But it is kind of flabbergasting to me that there's only one biography of him in English, an incredibly problematic one from the 1890s, which you can find on Google Books. It censors the battles, the sex, and the queerness. I know, right? Some of you know that it has been a plan of mine for many years to write a new English biography of the man. It's going to be a little while, but it's on my to-do list, because let's be real, it needs doing, and the queerness needs to get put in, not left out. So, that's the story of Date Masamune's miraculous conception. Happy birthday, old man. And that's all from me for now. Friday Night History returns this coming Friday with Season 2, Episode 1, The Cat Who Would Be God. I hope you'll tune in. And remember, to support these videos, the podcast, and everything else, sign up today at patreon.com/riversidewings. Link is in the description. Keep me working for you. Thank you, and remember, who you are and what lights your fire is worth fighting for. I'll see you around.